It's January 5th out here on the public land. I gotta give you a quick update. Since the last time we saw you, we actually hunted last night over that bean field that Sean and I observed back on the evening of the 3rd, and didn't see a single deer. I don't really know what was going on, but they either weren't moving or we spooked them walking in or something, but we didn't see anything. So you can see since then it snowed. It actually snowed in the middle of the night last night. And we don't have much here, just a light skiff, maybe a 1/4 of an inch in spots, but it's just enough to show tracks. And we're thinking we're gonna try to still hunt our way down through this big bedding area behind us and see if we can cut some tracks of deer headed back into bed from this morning, because it quit snowing at 3 or 4 a.m. this morning. Any deer that would have been headed back into bed before daylight would have left some kind of fresh sign. So Zach and I are out here tonight. I got the professional snow tracker, as you can see back here. We're gonna get after him this evening with the old musket. First deer that we see within 60 yards is gonna get at least a cap popped at him. I don't know if this thing will even go off with it being this cold. It's 8 or 9 degrees right now. And I know we're not gonna sit still for very long. Otherwise we're gonna become a couple of popsicles out here. So gonna get down here in this bedding area and see if we can cut some fresh tracks and follow these deer back to their bedding areas. Never know, might be able to slip up on one before dark.
We've walked a pretty good ways. Haven't seen anything until now. Zach looked down and cut a doe track. You can tell it's a walking track. She's not in any hurry at all. I'm sure it's from this morning sometime. But she's headed back down this main ditch. And at the head of this ditch is a pretty good sized bedding area where a lot of these deer end up bedding at. The funny thing is this bedding area is almost 3/4 of a mile away from this bean field up here. So if you're sitting on those beans and you're hunting these deer, you don't even have a chance in the evening. And they're not getting out there until 2 hours after dark, probably. We're going to follow this back a little bit further and sort of still hunt it and see what we can see. If not, we're going to go check a couple more spots for tracks. We haven't seen many, so I don't think there's a lot of deer in here. We just found where a deer was bedded. I don't think it would have smelled us, but it definitely must have heard us walking up here. Hard to see what it is, but looks like the tracks go this way, which is good because that's the direction that we're headed. There's another bedding area over there where that deer probably went to escape. I'm hoping we start running into some more tracks up here up top. You can see, like we mentioned, it just snowed early this morning, like 1-2 a.m. right here underneath this hedge tree. A bunch of leaves and stuff are ruffled up where something has been digging down through the snow. And then there's 2 sets of deer tracks leading straight down to the point where we just spotted the fresh bed. We obviously jumped those deer up out of their bed. But this is what they were doing before they went into bed this morning. They were up here browsing on probably hedge leaves or something that's fallen that was up underneath the snow. We're right up underneath one of these hedge trees right here. And there's no oaks really to speak of anywhere around us where acorns would be dropping. So that's got to be what they're browsing on right there, is those hedge leaves. Got about 20 minutes left of light. It's bitter cold out here. We actually cut a few sets of tracks working up through this CRP field. And we followed them real quiet. This dadgum snow is crunchier than I figured it would be. But if it was just a little bit quieter, I think we'd have made it work, because we ended up jumping the deer. They were only 30 yards from us, and they didn't bump real bad. I mean, they just barely trotted off, and then I could hear them stop down in the woods. But if I'd have been paying any attention, I probably could have got a shot at one of them. They looked like does and fawns, but we cut their tracks back there in the snow, coming out of bedding, headed towards food. And I think we were just barely behind them. We're able to come up behind them there, but I was standing there getting the legs down on the tripod because I had a feeling that I might get a shot opportunity. And they heard me or saw me messing around with it and took off. What do you do? We got a little bit of time left here. They always like to sort of stage in this field on the way out, so might see some yet.